For this topic I'm using a broad term instead of a single secret society by name, though specific examples might include Anton LaVey's Church of Satan, the Cult of Cthulhu, or perhaps the Hellfire Club. The reason I'm jumbling them all together in one pot is because they tend to share the same symbols, and there does appear to be a theme of Satanism in Eyes Wide Shut. Probably the most well-known clue is the use of Romanian Orthodox Church music, the Divine Liturgy, played backwards in the ritual scene. Actually, it's just the vocals that are backwards. The piece was created along with its reverse chanting in 1997 by its composer Jocelyn Pook, 2 years before Eyes Wide Shut's release. Kubrick loved it and included it in his Eyes Wide Shut ritual. But surely the implication of the Divine Liturgy, a deeply spiritual piece, played backward carries implications of the ritual being blasphemous. I don't know why Jocelyn Pook decided to play it backwards originally, but Kubrick's choice to use it speaks for itself. Add to that the fact that the film is set around Christmas, and this is the first indoor location of the movie that has no Christmas decorations whatsoever. And there's the sexuality of the ritual and the timing. Nick said they get started around 2 a.m.
As a matter of fact, I got another gig later tonight.
Playing somewhere else tonight?
They only get started there around 2.
The witching hour, also known as the devil's hour, begins at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. depending on which occult source you read. That's the time occultists believe that demons and witches are most active and most powerful. Let's move on to specific symbols, beginning with the pentagram, an old pagan symbol used widely in horror fiction and heavy metal artwork to denote evil, especially when positioned upside down. Now, I've heard rumours that there's a deleted moment where there's a pentagram on the floor, but those rumours are unsubstantiated. In fact, Kubrick's brother-in-law and executive producer of the film, and what better a source, explains in the Stanley Kubrick Archives book that after Kubrick died, the film wasn't re-edited by the studios. The remaining alterations to music, colour balancing and the likes were made by the team at the Kubrick estate and overseen by Jan Harlan himself. The studio didn't re-edit the film. However, a very sneaky inclusion of pentagrams occurs in the Ziegler Party. Not these big snowflake type things, they are almost certainly the star of Ishtar, but as far as I know that's not a symbol used specifically by any secret society. It carries other connotations which will be outlined in a separate video I'll be making about Eyes Wide Shut and sexuality. Instead, the pentagrams are found here, but they're disguised by the colourful Christmas lights. Look at the flower stem frames holding the Christmas lights. They're pentagrams. Less conclusive as potential pentagram symbols are the 5 pointed stars high up on the walls in the toy store at the end of the film. One of the Barbie doll boxes has a 5 pointed star window in it. And on the curtains in the daughter's bedroom are green 5 pointed stars in a strip. The most visible one is upside down. Those examples I'm willing to take with a pinch of salt, but these ones are more suspicious. Other possibly satanic details include the anti-clockwise walking of Red Cloak in the circle, the incense ball as an item used in religious ceremonies, and the fact that all of the women, including Red Cloak, bow. What are they bowing to? Probably the light of their god directly above. And even human sacrifice is suggested at the end of the scene.
What is going to happen to that woman?
No one can change her fate now. When a promise has been made here, there is no turning back.
Two more details that are not conclusive, but are certainly possibilities, is that the character Sandor Savost, who tries to seduce Alice with surprisingly hypnotic charm, she appears to be almost drugged. His name could be an intended reference to Anton Sandor LaVey, founder of the Church of Satan. Kinda fits with the presence of pentagrams when he first appears on screen. And one detail I found curious is this Christmas decoration. I looked at it and couldn't help suspect some sort of symbolism, like maybe a set of goat horns and eyes, something like that. The cafe name Sharkies as well sounds kinda threatening. Yeah, I know, probably just reading things in, but it's okay to mention possibilities, right? After all, this is a scene where Bill is feeling threatened on account of a guy following him in the street. And the same decoration appears inside Ziegler's house right before the pool room scene. So various suggestions of Satanism, some very strong ones like backward music, the witching hour and lack of Christmas decorations at Christmas, and some throwaway ones. This stuff may all sound like Kubrick was nuts and paranoid, but there are certainly many occultist, satanic and witchcraft-based organisations in the world today. Some are public entities, and there may be some entirely secret ones as well. And there are lots of websites and forums dedicated to such things. I don't mean conspiracy theorist websites, I mean enthusiasts of occultism. Although The Cult and Occult book by Francis King, that's a book that is in the Stanley Kubrick archives as a piece of research material, although that book contains a lot of questionable claims and stuff I consider downright wacky, the author certainly believes most of what he's saying. So I hunted down another of his works called The Secret Rituals of the OTO. That's another secret society we'll be exploring later. The book describes the 9 degrees of initiation for the OTO, at least what the author perceives them to be. The first 6 degrees, he says, are mostly imported from Freemasonry, but I was quite surprised to find that the later degrees gradually introduced the initiate to sex magic and the worship of Baphomet, aka Satan, though the author also equates Baphomet with other gods such as Zeus. The degrees gradually but openly describe Christianity as the enemy, and even states that, quote, there may be a darkness that is more than all your light, end quote. The author says that the version of the rituals he describes adhere to the original ones set out by Aleister Crowley when he was head of the OTO before he died. Now personally, I'm not religious. I'm sort of halfway between agnostic and atheist, so I don't believe in any institutional religion. I find the ideas interesting and sometimes even useful, but that's it. So to me, the mortal enemy positions between the Catholic Church and the occult are just two competing hypocrisies. The hypocrisy is so bad that Crowley has been quoted as saying that, quote, hate itself is almost like love. Fighting most certainly is love, end quote. At one point he describes love as orgiastic. No doubt a bit of the sex magic enthusiast surfacing there.